Good evening. It's 7 o'clock. I call to order City Council meeting for April 13th, 2022. It's 7 o'clock. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Campbell. Present. Councilwoman Gadaro.
Here.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Here.
Councilwoman Julian.
Here.
Councilman Stevens.
Here.
Vice Mayor Leon.
Here.
Mayor Harris.
I'm present.
You have a quorum.
Please stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. But before we go into an invocation or a Pledge of Allegiance, I would like to just take this opportunity to let everyone know that our city attorney's mother passed this afternoon, and we ask that you keep her and her family in your prayers. And we all will send prayers out tonight as we pray for the things that we ask God for. Keep her and her family in your prayers.
God our Father, we thank you for your grace and mercy towards us. We thank you for your many blessings. Father, we pray now and ask for a special prayer for our city attorney and her family, God. We ask that you bring them comfort during this time of bereavement. Father, we ask that you give them strength, give them your knowledge, your wisdom, and your understanding to move forward. Father, we pray that you continue to bless the city of Miami Gardens, its leadership, the residents, and everyone that calls this place home. Father, we thank you for all the great things that's happening. We pray that you continue to pour your many blessings upon our lives, and in all things we would give you the praise, honor, and glory that your precious name deserves. It is in your Son's name I do pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we're on approval of minutes.
Mr. Mayor and Council, I do have before you the February 23rd and March 9th draft City Council meeting minutes for your review and approval.
I need a motion on the approval of the minutes.
Motion. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Showing none, show the minutes approved. We're on order of business. Are there any items that need to be pulled or added to the agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I don't have an item that needs to be pulled, but I would like to request through you to Councilwoman Julian to co-sponsor 11.4, which is on the consent agenda.
Ms. Clerk, show that added, please.
All right, without objection, I'll show that added in the minutes and when we get the legislation signed.
Thank you.
All right, now I need approval of the agenda.
Motion.
Been approved, seconded, been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Showing none, the agenda passes. Special presentations. We have a special presentation from the SEEK program. Ms. Anike. Could you speak into the microphone? It's not on? Press that button on the front.
Oh, there he is. The light is green.
There it is.
Push. Good evening,
Green
everyone.
means go.
Yes, green means go. I learned that as a teacher. All right, we need to be able to get inside here for the video. Mr. Harry Potter, please assist. Thank you. Well, in the meantime, since we're waiting, I'll go ahead and introduce Joshua Rudolph so that he can do his speech, and then we'll play the video afterwards.
I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget. Good evening, my name is Joshua Rudolph. I attend SEEK after school program. Before I was in the after school program, I went to STEAM-tastic Saturday program. At my first one, I flew a drone and built it. At another one, I dissected a starfish. I thought it was really cool. Last Saturday, we learned about the science of making music. When I started the after school program, at first I didn't really talk, but over time, I made friends. We started first Lego League, where I built and made a robot out of Legos and programmed it to perform 17 different missions. I was a team captain and also coder for our Lego robot. We competed in two different competitions. We learned more each time. Once we started F1, I got to be on the graphic design team and design just like my father. I got to help choose the design for the shirts of our car, for the shirts and our car. The best part is we got to meet Willie T. Ribbs Jr. We were so excited to race against him. The F1 cars we built in the after school program. And now we get to go see the F1 race in person. This is gonna be awesome.
All right, here we kind of do the little wave like this. Spirit fingers.
Play the video. Harry Potter, can you sign us in, please? Oh. That's not us.
Okay, which one's yours?
It should be. I don't see it. I can go to this on YouTube. It's not here. I don't see it here.
One second. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, no, do not close this one. Go here.
No, I was going to open it to Waiver. I can do that.
Okay, is this one yours?
Yes.
But that's the one I was saying.
So today we're going to be focusing on coding, and we're going to be coding through Spiro EDU, which is an app.
And the reason why we are doing this today is because we have this program that runs here after school, which is called our Build, Code, and Grow.
Let's see what happens, because you just turned it 30 degrees, or you may have to turn 20 degrees.
Build Code Grow is a program that we created to allow kids to engage in topics that they normally wouldn't participate in during the school year and or if they are homeschooled. And some of these topics are mainly and mostly related to building, coding, and growing items in STEM.
What's going to pull us forward?
Thrust.
Thrust. So that means we need to have more force than we do what? Go backwards.
I brought Amari to the program because honestly, like in our community, we don't have things like this for our children, which can open so many doors for them in the near future, such as the engineering. You know, colleges start to look at them more, and then it changes the interest. Because in our community, kids are more focused on sports, football, basketball, but things like this can also open a lot of doors for them as well. So me bringing Amari to the program was more so to get him engaged in this community, this kind of setting.
Hi, my name is Lamari, and I'm the communicator for the Seektronics. It's been a good experience for my first time doing like robotics. I like being a part of it, but it's also challenging.
His maturity level has changed like tremendously. I've seen him come from me thinking for him to now thinking for himself, making decisions that really surprise me at the end of the day. I look and I'm like, wow, Amari, you thought of that, you know, and his conversations have changed. So this program has really changed Amari.
During the Build Code Grow program, we have been selected from the City of Miami Gardens to implement the Formula One in Schools program. And what this program has brought to the community, it has given the students more opportunities that they normally wouldn't see in STEM.
I think I've been a better leader, like able to create stuff and know how to work it, so then when new people come in, I could help them, like building, electronics, coding, and all sorts of other stuff.
If there are any parents whose children are like mine, I would suggest you really looking into this program. This program is awesome. It gives children the opportunity to participate in things they may not get to do when they're in school or if they're home educated. So this is a good outlet for them, and it teaches them a valuable tool, which is learning to code.
All right, nice.
Thank you so very much. And our kids just want to present one thing because we did time it for 5 minutes, so they just want to present one thing. Come on. They actually made this, so the shirts that they have on, they designed the logo. They also designed
Avery.
the bags have names on them. And so they designed the logos for their F1 team. You know what? It's okay. Sometimes chaos just happens. So they designed this for you all during the after-school program. Thank you.
Thank you, Princess.
Oh, nice. Thank you, kids. We appreciate you all. Can we get a quick picture with the kids before they leave? Oh, they ran and got pizza. All right, let them go ahead and get their pizza. Yeah, let them go ahead and get their pizza. We gotta move on. You're welcome. Thank you, guys. All right, we on now. Councilwoman Shannon Campbell. Sure.
Good evening, beautiful people of Miami Gardens. It is such a pleasure to be here. So before we start, I'm the technician to run our video, but we are the creators of a superhero called Read Man. And Read Man is designed to get kids, and I am so excited about the young people I saw here today, get them excited about wanting to read, learning to read. And so we want to share this video with you as we continue to promote literacy.
What time is it? It's time to read. 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 Name is Read Man, I'm here to say I love to read, can't say today. I read at night, I read all day. I read to learn, no time to play. Just read, man. 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 Just read. get up and just read, man. Just read, man. What you know about read, man? Tell me what you really know about read, man. What you know about read, man? Tell me what you really know about read, man. What you know about read, man? Tell me what you really know about read, man. What you know about read, man? Tell me what you really know about read, man. Go to school, read that book, then you pass your test, let's change. Go to school, read that book, then you pass your test, let's change. Go to school, read that book, then you pass your test, let's change. Go to school, read that book, then you pass your test, let's change. Let's change.
And once again, we are the creators of Read Man. Read Man is a superhero that has been trademarked, copywritten, and patented, and all right here in our very lovely city of Miami Gardens. So once again, we thank you for your support. We thank you for allowing us to present, and we are lifelong educators. We are retired now, but we have been in the education business for over 70 years combined. And we know that the joy of reading and having our kids become proficient readers is extremely important, especially in these times. So thank you for your support, and you can visit us on www.justreadman.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
And kudos goes out to our very, very special councilwomen. I tell you, they have been just a joy. Miss Shannon Campbell and Katrina Wilson, we love you. Thank you. Miss Igadora, I love you too.
You got to bring Read Man to some of our parks so that he can meet our kids.
Yes.
All right. Just read, man. Councilwoman Igadora.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I stand before this council today to congratulate an amazing group of young people. They actually made history, and 4 of these young men and women were either born in Miami Gardens or they still live in the area. And so I'd like to read just a little bit of what they have done. Although Black entrepreneurship is at an all-time high, nearly 8 out of 10 Black-owned businesses fail in their first 18 months due to lack of funding and cash flow. For many minorities, the struggle to gain access to capital is a daunting task. Crowd Wall Street, this amazing group of young people, is a new SEC-regulated private equity investment portal that aims to build collaborative ecosystems and access that remove structural barriers for minority founders and investors. This group was able to push through the bureaucracy and red tape, and they were able to be the very first Black-owned company, correct? The very first Black-owned company, after waiting more than 6 months for a process that usually takes 2 months. On the 1st of February 2022, the first day of Black History Month, Crowd Wall Street Inc. finally became the 3rd SEC-regulated portal in the United States, making Black history. Congratulations. Crowd Wall Street was formed at the beginning of the pandemic in spring 2020 by co-founders Tavares Williams and Jamsky French. In December 2020, the pair teamed up with Chantal Lanner Hereford, an Atlanta entrepreneur. Ms. Hereford was appointed as a managing partner of Crowd Wall Street and Crowd Wall Street, Wisconsin. And then they brought on Genevieve Carville Harris, who I happen to mentor. I've known Genevieve since she was 14 years old. And they also brought on LaShondra Johnson, both Miami Gardens residents. They joined the company to spearhead Crowd Wall Street Rewards. Crowd Wall Street Rewards is a rewards-based platform that helps entrepreneurs raise an unlimited amount of funds for their businesses without giving up equity. And I would like to give them an award. Mr. Martin? Congratulations to you all. I am so proud of you all. I'm a business owner myself, and I know it's not an easy feat. And you took what was a negativity for many, and you turned it around to create an amazing company. I see you doing well. Please look at these young men and women. You're going to see and hear from them again. So I'd love to present, don't be shy. I'd like to present this award to you. And it reads, Councilwoman Shannon Lady Ighodaro honors Crowd Wall Street, Inc. on becoming the third SEC-regulated portal in the United States, making Black history on this April 13th, 2022, in the city of Miami Gardens. Congratulations. Mr. Mayor and Council, could you all please come down for a quick photo?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Manager?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Vice Mayor and members of the council, I'd like to call on Ivna Muselair Lobin to do the presentation for the Employee of the Quarter. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Ivna Muselair Lubin, the Strategic Communication and Training Specialist here at Miami Gardens. In October of 2021, the city launched an employee recognition program, the All-Star Award, to publicly acknowledge individuals who go above and beyond their duties. And based on nominations received internally, an individual is identified to receive the award on a quarterly basis. This quarter's All-Star Award recipient is Mr. Samuel Randall of the Parks and Recreation Department. I'd like to invite Mr. Randall to the front, along with you, Mayor and council members, City Manager Benson, Parks and Recreation Director, Ms. Paulette Murphy, to receive his award. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sam. It's well deserved, man. Sam is one of the hardest working employees here in the city. All right, well, we on legislative update. Ms. Cash.
Good evening, Mayor, council members.
Good evening.
So good to be in person here and not Zoom. But I will be very brief in that we've talked a lot about what happened in Tallahassee. First, let me just say that I know that you'll hear from the senator and your legislators, state representatives, but they will be going back to Tallahassee on the 19th. To deal with redistricting, and actually that map, and this is congressional maps, the state and Senate maps have come out, and for the most part, the representation of Miami Gardens will remain the same. On the congressional end, however, the governor has put out his own map just probably about an hour ago, and it's unprecedented that the governor would draw a map, but he has. And the legislature will decide what they want to do with that map on the 19th. After that, there may be an additional special session. We're not quite sure if they're going to expand what they call the call to include property insurance, but that's also been discussed as something that would be subject to a special session. So it's not over until it's over. And we expect that the legislators will be back in Tallahassee. But be that as it may, I do want to announce a few initiatives that you did get funding for, and that would be mainly the City of Miami Gardens Higher Education Initiative. And there were other dollars that were provided to Miami Gardens, particularly SHIP funds of $686,000. We also know that the federal government has provided a number of funds to the state, and those are ones that are not member projects that we will be looking at as opportunities, mainly in the issue of water, septic to sewer, and then other infrastructure such as broadband. The Job Growth Fund was funded again, a workforce, and something very important, housing and community development projects. There was about $109 million put in that fund. Some other new projects that have received funding that will maybe available for grants for local governments include cybersecurity is one of $126 million. That's a new one. The Fathers Initiative was one that you may have seen on the television yesterday, where the governor provided some dollars for fatherhood. Some of those programs will be certainly affected in Miami Gardens. Also, on a substantive level, and I have listed a number of pass-through projects from the federal government, and you'll hear from Clarence Williams about what's going on in the feds. They talking billions, we talking millions in Tallahassee, but there's some substantive issues that were very important to you. I have to acknowledge the work of your city attorney, Sonia, in her absence, and her staff for keeping us engaged and on the straight and narrow about some bills that were important to them. So I want to mention one, which is the motor vehicle and vessel law enforcement, one that was very interested, that your chief was interested in. And that bill passed. It was House Bill 399, and it prohibits an individual driving a motor vehicle from engaging in any street takeovers or stunt driving. And it provides a misdemeanor charge plus a fine. So that one was very important. Another one that was important to them was Senate Bill 280, that was important to you, I should say. And that was the one that would have required you to do valuations on ordinances, each ordinance, and that died. So very good work on the part of those of you who came up to Tallahassee, made phone calls to kill that bill. There were some other substantive initiatives that passed, and I won't go, deep into them unless you have questions. One on 620 was another one that we watched here locally, and that was Local Business Protection Act by Travis Hudson. It passed. I should say that the governor has yet to receive the budget, and he's yet to receive many of these bills that have passed. So the budget will be presented to the governor. We'll know whether or not he will veto our projects or not. And we don't know quite what his reasoning is for it yet, but we'll get it. And then some of these bills have not yet been presented as well. So I won't go through all of them. We prepared a memo for you to read at your leisure. And of course, we're available for comments and questions.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Are there any questions or concerns from the dais?
Yes, I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
I do as well.
Thank you, Ms. Cash, for your presentation and the work that you and your team put in Tallahassee this legislative session. I'm extremely happy about the Miami Gardens Higher Education Initiative, an initiative that we launched last year, was able to award students to scholarships, and this year, should our governor do what's right, we'll be able to increase the amount of scholarships that we award to the Miami Gardens residents. My question is, I know you mentioned that the governor just put out the the congressional map about an hour ago, so you probably don't have much information on it. I just wanted to know how much of Miami Gardens is changing from that map, and if there's anything that we can do to assist a fight.
Well, his map keeps Miami Gardens whole. I know that is a concern, has been a concern. There's a little bit of carve out for the Opelika Airport that's not in the district, it's in the adjoining district. And particularly the changes in the boundary for this district would be that it now encompasses all of Miami Beach.
Gotcha.
Big change, and it comes a little bit more east. So those are the changes that I noticed in looking at the map. A little bit different. The big change is in Senate District 5 in Jacksonville, and then the Senate District 10 in Orlando, which have been minority access seats, and those have been, for lack of a better word, gutted, and so that they're no longer minority access seats.
Do you have a time frame on when the governor is expected to receive the budget?
I would imagine politics is politics. It's not over until he gets his map.
Yeah.
And so I think it hasn't been presented yet, but assuming that it's presented right after special session, which is about the time that it's usually presented, then he has, I don't know, probably be May, the end of May, he usually will come out. We're not quite sure. I've heard different variations of whether or not they think he'll be a heavy veto or just some. I would imagine that it may be a little heavy.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes,
Go ahead,
Mr. Mayor. Ms. Cash, thank you for your presentation, very informative. My question is, out of the legislative initiatives that we presented, meaning this council, and it went up to Tallahassee through our lobbyists, only the higher education initiative was approved. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So moving forward, is there a dynamics or a way that we can have a different kind of dialogue, proactive rather than reactive? That is my request, maybe through the mayor or through the manager, that maybe we can have something that's more proactive than reactive, because in the process, till your presentation today, we were, and well, the notes and the memo that you put out was excellent. We weren't aware of what was passed and what was not. So my ask is, can we get, information prior to that in the process? And then maybe we can get a proactive approach so that maybe in the future, we can get more of what we need here in Miami Gardens as part of this council's initiatives passed. That is my request.
And if I may,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Mayor. So we have certainly had those discussions with your staff, very able staff, and are looking at some ways to make that more available to you. We do periodic reports on the substantive issues so that as bills are passed, the budget doesn't come until the end, so that's a little harder. But we also have offered, and I stand here and offering, some workshops, because we do have some new council members, so that we can talk about even the kind of requests that you made, the amount of requests that you made, and it varies, over time. So we've had those discussions and look forward to working with you in those areas. And thank you for those comments.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or concerns? Go ahead.
I agree with my colleague. I think here we have some major issues that would require, you hear me okay? That will probably require some participation from our residents. And if we know and are aware of the kinds of timelines that we can organize and mobilize them to participate in those issues that affect their day-to-day quality of life, we would very much so like to do that. And through our advocacy and our mobilization through whichever means our team says is an effective means to get the attention of our legislators that are charged with representing us. And so please keep us in the loop so that we can participate.
We will do. And I would be remiss, Mr. Mayor, if I didn't introduce LaToya Shields, who's also a part of our team. And we certainly take our representation very, very seriously and appreciate your comments. We work very close with your legislators, and you have some good ones. And so we want to make sure that we're communicating the way that you would like. So the more that you tell us what you want, the more that we can provide exactly that.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate everything you guys do. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
I'd be remiss if we didn't recognize our state representative, Ms. Felicia Robinson, who just walked in. Well, you could come up to the podium real quick and give a little 2-minute brief on what took place.
Good evening. I have to say my name and address.
Yes, we'll let you pass.
I'm Felicia Robinson, and I'm your state representative, but I am a resident at 3240 Northwest 214th Street. Just to give you, I'm not sure what all you heard, but I'm positive that she did tell you that this legislative session was a challenging session. But we went up there and we fought hard. We were able to bring back some dollars for the higher ed education fund if the governor signs it. But that money did end up making it into the budget package. It is very important that we do some more communicating. I will reach out to each and every last one of you all to talk about the different types of legislation or appropriations that are being passed. I think I've already reached out to the mayor to, talk to you about that so that we can start tailoring our things a little bit better to see if we can push some things. What I will say is we did finish this legislative session. However, if you all didn't know, we will be going back up on next week because our congressional maps have been vetoed, and so we have to redo those. Actually, probably about an hour or so ago, the governor did push out a map that we will be looking at. So I encourage you all to go to myfloridahouse.gov and look at those maps because it's definitely going to affect all of us. And then when you look at it, if you have any conversation or anything that you would like to discuss, please know that I am available and I am definitely on board to making sure that our voices are heard there in Tallahassee. So, my office, for anyone that needs to know, is on 3964 Northwest 167th Street. I do have my staff there Monday through Friday. So if you all need any assistance or anything that we can help you with, please do not, hesitate to stop by. Thank you.
Thank you, State Rep. All right, I think that's it. I think we're on public comments now. Francis Ragu. Who? Karen Hunter Jackson? Come, Miss Jackson, come on.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Karen Hunter Jackson. I reside at 1420 Northwest 199th Street. The reason we're here this afternoon is to share with you this exciting project we're working on for Arbor Day. It's the Arbor Day Seniors Project 2022. Arbor Day, much like Earth Day, is a holiday that celebrates nature. Its purpose is to encourage people to plant trees and shrubs and collect and litter collecting events. In honor of Arbor Day, we have selected 5 homes of seniors in Miami Gardens. Their ages range from 78 to 97. The project theme is helping our seniors while helping our planet. The date is Friday, April 29th. And to tell you a little bit about the project, Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau CEO David Whitaker and One Community Alliance Network, which is who I represent, agreed to create a collaborative event that would include giving back to the Miami Gardens community. Collaborating with us on this project is, of course, the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, One Community Alliance Network, the Miami Gardens umbrella group of crime prevention associations, Florida Memorial University, Job Corps, Vice Mayor Reggie Leon, Councilwoman Iguodaro, and a few other allies are pending. And now I'm going to turn it over to Francis Ragu to give you more details. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Francis Ragu, 889 Northwest 214th Street, Unit 102, Miami Gardens, Florida, 33169. I stand before you here today as the president of the Miami Gardens Neighborhood Watch Incorporated, also known as the Umbrella Group. We have with us today members of the 11 crime prevention and neighborhood watch associations in the city of Miami Gardens who are pioneers behind our effort and have selected the 5 elders' homes in which we are going to assist. Please stand, members, and be recognized in the various groups. Many of you know them. These are our leaders who serve as the eyes and ears of the city. These elders range, as mentioned, in ages from 78 years old or young to 97, with each having a wonderful story. One lives with a 68-year-old daughter that suffers from dementia. One 84 years old lost a husband of 59 years last year. Our 97 years old lives with her 87-year-old blind brother. And our 94 and a half, and she said yes, 94 and a half, because she wants to make the 100, so every day counts, on a wheelchair, and has been at home since 1954. The project scope, our initial intention was to landscape and plant, but after seeing the needs of our elders who asked if we could also fix a few things that would make the quality of their lives better, we expanded the project and solicited additional community allies. Enhancements includes planting trees and shrubs, resodding, lawn mowing, pruning, mulching, cleaning the flower beds and refreshing the flowers, power washing the sidewalks and driveways, exterior painting of 2 homes, and replacing some of the windows in one of the property. In so doing, I want to thank Mr. Tom Ruiz from Public Works for helping us with the power washing, and also Mr. Ozzy Diaz and Ms. Nakisha Smith for their assistance. With our project purpose to celebrate and honor nature, our environment, and our community, restore seniors' sense and pride in their community and faith in their community, demonstrate the power of our community alliances, spotlight Florida Memorial vocational and trade programs, provide networking opportunities for vocational and trade programs volunteers, and also to provide community service. We hope as we develop and encourage new unconventional community relationships and alliances, we are hopeful that with the success that this can be an annual doing within our city and showing pride in our community. And for that, we want to say thanks again for the city, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the 29th. We'll let you know the assembly point and the timelines in which we're going to be at the various homes. Thank you.
Mr. Ragu, make sure we get that information as far as where you guys are going to be and when you're going to start it.
Yes.
Okay.
Our feature home is going to be our 94.5-year-old, which we are going to paint. We're going to replace the sod. We're going to do the sprinkler system, replace thing, because I mean, she deserves it. And after all these years, from 1954, the first owner of that home and be there, I think it's something that's going to make us proud. And hopefully, again, we can expand it next year, and this can be a community project in joint venture with the city and looking out for some of our elders in our community.
See Kevin before you leave.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gail, you should not have sat down. It's your turn.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First of all, Gail Cunningham, 19001 Northwest 14th Avenue Road, Miami Gardens, Florida, 33169.
I was about to say you've been doing this long enough to know now what the rules were.
I should have it down pat by now. First of all, I'd like to define town hall meeting. A way for local and national politicians to meet with their constituents, either to hear from them on topics of interest or to discuss specific upcoming legislation or regulations. During this week, I've had the opportunity to be in the presence of our council people and our mayor, vice mayor, where they were actually doing exactly what I just said. Mayor Rodney Harris, I think we saw each other 3 or 4 times this week. Vice Mayor Reginald Leon, seat 2, Councilwoman Wilson, seat 4, Councilwoman Julian, seat 5, and Councilwoman Campbell. I just want to thank you that now we have a full membership and I'll keep Miami Gardens beautiful again. And I love the conversation that you and I had leading up to that. So I just want you all to know that it's appreciated, especially when we are in those town hall meetings. You give us a chance to speak, you interact, you bring us information, you let us know what's going on before it happens so we can give input and discussion, and it's well received, appreciated, acknowledged, and duly noted. You are our representatives, and we know that when you leave us and you come to us, you bring it to us, want to know our insight, you take it back, you give us information, and you don't mind facing us. Ms. Wilson puts us in a position where we can go Zoom, or we can be right there with her, and we appreciate that. So when you're doing those things and we can see that you're doing what needs to be done so that we are represented when we see you guys up there, it makes a difference. And I wanted to tell you personally, give you flowers now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Cunningham. No. Your report.
Gail.
Hold it for your report. All right. Any other public comments? Any written communication, Mr. Clerk?
No written communication, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Showing that there's no written communication, public comments are now closed. We're on ordinance for first reading.
Item 8.1, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, relating to elections, calling for a 2022 special election with a proposed charter amendments, providing for close of election books, approving the official ballot form, providing for notification, providing for adoption representation, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing a severability clause, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by City Clerk.
Mr. Clerk.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. This item, I'm bringing this item to you as a follow-up to the memo that I provided to council as it related to redistricting. In that memo, I talked about a lot of scenarios when it came to redistricting, but one of the most important things with redistricting was before we started to do the legwork on doing the redistricting, bringing in consultants to look at our population numbers as it relates to the census, trying to figure out what our boundary lines are, the council is restricted from making the changes to the boundaries because our residential boundaries are set by the charter. And as you guys know, in order for us to change the charter, we would have to go to a referendum to do that. In my research since that last memo, I've come across a lot of cities that have districts similar to the city of Miami Gardens. For example, city of Pompano Beach, city of Fort Lauderdale, city of Miami, city of North Miami. When you look at their charters and their codes, their districts are established by ordinance. It's not established by their charter. So therefore, their council, the city council or their elected body can from time to time, as a result of the census, look at their boundaries and change them by ordinance. So this right here will be the first step in calling the special election, which will run concurrent with our general election. So there won't be an additional charge. It'll just be a ballot question posed to the electors, asking electors, can the council change residential district by ordinance from time to time? If this gets passed on first reading, when we come back to second reading, there'll be a companion resolution with the actual ballot question. That's it.
Need a motion on this item.
Motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions or concerns from the dais? Showing none. Mr. Clerk?
Councilwoman Campbell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darrow?
Yes.
Councilwoman Julian?
Yes.
Councilman Stevens?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Leon?
Yes.
Mayor Harris?
I vote yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
One
Item
order.
9, ordinance is on for second reading. Item 9.1, an ordinance of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, amending Chapter 2, Article 2, Section 2-49 of the Code of Ordinances relating to regular meetings of the City Council, providing for adoption of representation, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing severability clause, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Vice Mayor Reggie Leon, and this is a public hearing.
Public comments on this item is open. Any written communication?
No written communication or no pre-registered public comments, Mr. Mayor.
All right, public comments is now closed. Mr. Vice Mayor?
Nothing has changed to this item, so I'll make a motion.
All right,
Second.
it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Well, Mr. Clerk?
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Darrow?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Leon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Julian?
Yes.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Yes.
Councilman Stevens?
Yes.
Mayor Harris?
I vote yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 9.2, in order to the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, amending Chapter 6, Business Article 5, Sale of Merchandise, Section 6-195, selling, serving, vending, soliciting in public right-of-ways generally of the Code of Ordinances to regulate the sale or distribution of merchandise, goods, or wares on city streets and sidewalk by vendors, peddlers, and street ticket sellers in the clean zone during clean zone period for the annual Formula One Grand Prix and related activities, providing for adoption representation, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing severability clause, providing for an inclusion in code, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager, and this is a second reading.
Mr. Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council Member, there are no changes since first reading. Thank you.
All right, I need a motion on the item.
Motion.
Been moved and seconded. Mr. Clerk?
Councilwoman Godaro,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Leon,
Yes.
Councilwoman Julian,
Yes.
Councilwoman Campbell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Stevens,
Yes.
Mayor Harris.
I vote yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
We're on the consent agenda.
We're on the consent agenda. Item 11.1, resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the use of the Betty T. Ferguson Recreational Complex, Bunch Park, and City Hall Courtyard for the Orange Blossom Classic event taking place on Thursday, September 1, 2022 through Sunday, September 4, 2022. Authorizing in-kind support for the events in the amount not to exceed $42,000 from the general funds accounts for the Police Department and Parks and Recreation Department. Providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Mayor Rodney Harris. Item 11.2, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, establishing the city's meetings shall be held on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month at 5:30 p.m. Providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Vice Mayor Reggie Leon. Item 11.3, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing donation of $250 from Councilwoman Linda Julian's Public Affairs account to Engage Miami, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Councilwoman Linda Julian. Item 11.4, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, recognizing April as Fair Housing Month, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Councilwoman Linda Julian. Item 11.5, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the donation of $250 from Councilwoman Linda Julian's Public Affairs account to Florida Memorial University Student Emergency Fund, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Councilwoman Linda Julian. Item 11.6, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the use of Carroll City Park Showmobile and staffing in partnership with the Thomas 5 Foundation, Inc. 9th Annual Easter Day Extravaganza taking place on April 17, 2022. Authorizing in-kind support for this event in the amount not to exceed $6,629 from the general funds accounts for the Parks and Recreation Department, Police Department, and Public Works Department, provided for adoption representation, provided for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Councilman Robert Stevens III. Item 11.7, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, awarding invitation to bid ITB number 21-22008, sidewalk replacement and installation annual contract to primary vendor Metro Express, Inc., and secondary GP Engineering and General Contractor Corp., authorizing the city manager to issue purchase orders for this purpose, not to exceed the budget amount, provided for adoption representation, provided for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager. Item 11.8, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute that certain agreement with AIP US LLC for the lease with the option to buy of Cisco network equipment, detailed on quote number 202-11129 in parentheses, for an amount not to exceed $99,834.27 annually for 2 years by relying on participation agreement number 43220000 NASPO 19ACS, provided for adoption representation, provided for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager, and that is your consent agenda.
Need a motion.
Motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Showing none, show the consent agenda pass.
All right, we're now on to quasi-judicial zoning hearings and agenda disclosure.
Good evening and welcome to the quasi-judicial portion of the April 13, 2022 City Council meeting. For those persons that will or may be speaking on an item on the agenda or commenting on any item, please stand up and be sworn in by the city clerk. For the applicant, your item will be called to order by agenda number and title of your request. When your item is called, please approach the microphone, and when addressed, please speak directly and clearly, stating your name and address for the record and explain the reason for your request. Please note that all exhibits presented to the mayor and the council will become part of the public record.
All right, those who plan to speak on all quasi-judicial zoning items, please raise your right hand so you can be sworn in. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you provide this evening is true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right, you may be seated. All right, there are no ordinances on for first reading public hearing, no ordinances on for second reading public hearing. Item 13.3, resolutions public hearing. Item 13.3.1, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, approving the special exemption application for that certain property located at 2001 Northwest 167th Street, more particularly described on Exhibit A, attached to, permitting a vehicle sales business, waiving the maximum number of allowable rental vehicles to be located on site, and the requirement for employee parking to be located in the rear of the business, as set forth in Section 34-288 of the City of Miami Gardens Code of Ordinances, granting a variance to reduce the number of required parking from 28 spaces to 14 spaces, as required by Section 34-381 of the City of Miami Gardens Code of Ordinances, conditioning this request on that certain declaration of restriction attached to his Exhibit C, provided for the adoption representation, provided for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager, and this is a public hearing. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Manager.
Ms. Smith.
Thank you. Good evening, council. The first presentation that we have for this evening is a special exception application for the MPH Club Auto Sales. It also includes some variances and waivers with that application. The property is located at 2001 Northwest 167th Street. The request is a special exception approval for used vehicle sales and also for vehicle rentals. In our code of ordinances, those two uses come with some additional standards and some additional requirements. And that is where we get the request for the variances and waivers that you see before you this evening. Specifically, there is a request for a reduction in the number of parking spaces from 28 to 14. There is also a request that the requirement be waived for vehicle sales to take place in a standalone building. As you'll see from some of the exhibits, the building is an attached building, so there are structures attached to it and there is a shared wall. Our code does require that it's standalone, so that is why they're requesting a waiver from that. In addition, there is a request for a waiver of the maximum number of allowable vehicles for the rental portion. In our code of ordinances, you can have a maximum number of 10 rental vehicles allowed for display. They are requesting a waiver of that requirement. And as you will see in your packet, there is a floor plan. These vehicles will actually be indoors. So that is why staff supports that waiver. Lastly, there's a waiver for the employee parking to be located in the rear of the building. So in our code currently, it requires that employee parking for rentals, sales be located at the rear. As you will see from the aerial pictures, because of the physical constraints of the site, they're unable to park in the rear because they have a very limited setback in the rear. So the request is that the parking be located in the front along with the customer parking. Staff is recommending approval of the item. And here you'll see the location map with the property, which shows that it is an attached structure. You can see that, again, there's very limited setback in the rear and that the parking is located in the front, just off the Palmetto Expressway ramp. This is a picture of the building in its current form. And I'm sorry, I skipped one slide, I thought. Let's see. And then this is an image of the view to the north. There's a residential community to the north. And then to the south, we have more residential, but it is separated by the Palmetto Expressway. Adjacent to this structure along that Palmetto ramp, you do see that there is commercial that is consistent with this use. The application was looked at based on our criteria for granting of variances, waivers, and also special exception approvals. And staff has determined that it is recommending approval for the requested special exception, variances, and waivers. If you have any additional questions, we do have the applicant here this evening.
All right. Public comment on this is open. Any written communication, Mr. Clerk?
No, there are no written communication, Mr. Mayor.
Showing that there's no public comment is closed. I need a motion on the item.
Motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or concerns from the dais? Showing none. Mr. Clerk?
Councilwoman Julian?
Yes.
Councilwoman Godaro?
Yes.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Leon?
Yes.
Councilman Stevens?
Yes.
Mayor Harris?
I vote yes.
Motion passes 7-0. All right, we're now on to item 13.3.2, a resolution of City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, approving the special exemption application submitted by Alan Kisher on behalf of Calder Racecourse Inc. for a portion of that certain property located at 21001 Northwest 27th Avenue, more particularly described in Exhibit A attached here to permit warehouse distribution, light production, light assembly, laboratory, radio, and TV studio, music production, and movie studio use, subject to certain conditions, accepting and approving necessary declaration of restrictions, a copy of which is attached here to is Exhibit C, provided for adoption representation, provided for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager.
Mr. Manager?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to defer this item to April 27, time certain, 7 p.m.
All right, I need a motion to defer.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor of deferring this item until a time certain of when?
April 27.
April 27th. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Showing no opposition. It's deferred until April 27th. I got stuck.
All right, we're now on to the reports of the city manager, city attorney, and city clerk.
Mr. Manager?
Mayor, council members, vice mayor, outside of sending prayers to Sonia, I have no report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Madam Attorney?
Thank you. Mayor, as well as I would like to just send our prayers from the city attorney's office to Sonia and her family in their time. No
Mr.
report.
Clerk?
No report, and my thoughts is with the city attorney and her family as well.
Mr. Stevens?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bear with me for a second.
Yeah.
I just want to first thank Councilwoman Julian for taking the lead to acknowledge April as Fair Housing Month, and I look forward to working with you and your office to continue to bring and raise the issue around fair housing. This past Monday, I believe it was, we cut the ribbon to a new community here in the city, and we were able to create workforce housing out of that. And very, very, very fast, we got reports that our city employees are actually benefiting from the workforce housing initiative that we put in place. So I just want to acknowledge that and say thank you for that resolution that passed tonight. In addition to that, my report is as follows. We started the month out strong on Tuesday, April 5th. I held a citywide town hall meeting to inform and educate residents about the planning and zoning with updates from our city manager and updates from our city attorney and the entire our leadership team here at the city on the administrative side. Thank you so very much for coming out and providing our residents with information as it relates to the zoning process here in the city of Miami Gardens. In addition to our citywide town hall, we believe wholeheartedly that access to healthy foods is critical and most effective when combined with nutrition education. With that being said, on Friday, April 8th, in partnership with Flippin' Me and Live Healthy Miami Gardens, we provided residents with a 60-minute grocery store tour with a trained nutritionist. On this tour, residents learned about healthy food choices when they go shopping at their local supermarkets. At the end of the tour, participants received a $25 gift card to Walmart. A huge thank you to our co-sponsors, Chen Medical and Calder Casino, who has been pillars of our community and has definitely answered the call whenever I reach out to them, for helping us provide a wonderful experience. Tomorrow, April 14th, is the deadline for our higher education scholarship program for Miami Gardens residents. Please make sure, if you haven't already, to submit those applications so that our committee can start reviewing and awarding the scholarship dollars to our high school seniors. This coming weekend on Saturday, April 16th at 10 a.m., in partnership with Dibia Dreams and St. Thomas University, we will be educating our youth about green energy and solar robotic design with our STEM Saturday workshop series. STEM Saturdays transform communities and learning centers into incubators of excellence by engaging our youth ages 7 to 16 through STEM activities on the weekends at no cost to participants and their families. This workshop will take place at St. Thomas University on the campus of St. Thomas University. And then on Sunday, April 17th, we, as mentioned tonight, we'll be partnering with T5 Foundation to co-host their ninth annual Easter Extravaganza event at Miami Care City Park. This event is free and will have activities for all to enjoy, including music, fun, and rides. Please come out, bring your family. It's going to be a great time on Easter, as we say in the church, Resurrection Sunday. With that being said, I would like to publicly, some of you have already met him, introduce you to my new legislative analyst, Mr. Anthony Stewart. Stand up, Anthony.
Stand, young man.
Anthony Stewart is a graduate of Miami Northwestern Senior High School. We would excuse him. A graduate of the University of Florida. And then he returned home to complete his master's degree at Barry University in biomedical science. We're glad to have you. Welcome aboard. That ends my report, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
I did not know you went to Northwestern. Smart young man.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilwoman Nigadaro.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My thoughts and prayers go out to those in New York and Ukraine. I also want to commend our police department for all that they do to keep us here in Miami Gardens safe. Thank you. I want to congratulate South Florida's own Justice Kitanji Brown Jackson on her appointment to the U.S. Supreme Court. It took 232 years and 115 prior appointments, but Justice Kitanji Brown Jackson made it to the highest court in the land. I was part of a fantastic women's conference on April 8th, and it was sponsored by KT and Mrs. Valder McKinney Stirrup. Thank you to all of the women who participated. I also had my second annual Women's Empowerment Conference on March 22nd, with our keynote speaker being Naomi Tutu. It has been good seeing all of those who are taking steps to better health with us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. at Bunch Park Recreational Center, where we have a lovely air-conditioned indoor track. You are welcome to join us by calling Mr. Martin, my assistant, at extension 2708 to register. I sponsored a resolution to recognize National Kidney Month in the city of Miami Gardens, and I encourage everyone to be kind to your kidneys and to get regular health checkups. We had over 120 seniors at our senior spring fling in partnership with Chen Medical and Miami Gardens Chamber. Everyone looked good in their casual spring colors and won lots of door prizes. We had an amazing Unity town hall meeting with Ms. Sharon Frazier Stevens, a community activist, and we're asking you to join us in May as we celebrate Mental Health Month with Dr. Angela Brinson Brown. That meeting is going to be Wednesday, May 4th at 6 p.m. I'm encouraging all small business owners and those that want to learn more about how to get government contracts to join me on Saturday, April 30th at Bunch Park facility for our Small Business Wealth Conference. Again, you can call my office and register, calling extension 2708. Thank you all for the amazing feedback and compliments on our residential C3 quarterly newsletter. It has been blasted out and hard copies are available at our park locations and in the lobby. I also would like to wish everyone a happy Easter. That ends my report, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Julian.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to start off by thanking everyone who participated in our quarterly cleanup on this past Saturday. We really appreciate your support and your help. This allowed us to come together as a community, show some presence, clean up around our city, and this is something that we're going to continue in an effort to keep Miami Gardens beautiful. I'd like to extend my condolences to the passing of the mother of our city attorney. Definitely want to send her some healing prayers and tons of love. And I would like to wish a very happy birthday to one of our stellar residents, Eugenise Montpremier. Happy birthday, Eugenise. And that ends my report, Mr. Mayor.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. Councilwoman Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I first want to start out with thanking Councilwoman Igadora for attending the Twisted Smoothie event for our smoothie, salad, and soup. And I, really want to thank MGPD. I mean, they really turned out, they ate good and stayed healthy and kept us safe. That was the most important thing. So I really, kudos to MGPD. As you guys are aware, I do a bingo with a twist, and we do that every second Tuesday of the month. My next one will be May 10th. We had one last night, and it was just absolutely hilarious. But come on out. We're at Buccaneer Park at 6:30 every second Tuesday of the month. And also my town hall will be next Tuesday. I do that every third Tuesday of the month, 6:30. Tune in. I got some special guests gonna come on and give us some updates about the bond, and as well as some of our other communities. Ms. Gail Cunningham, give us some updates on what's going on in our community, and you're gonna hear from the community. Those will be my special guests, so tune in and you're gonna get some valuable information. And I also want to send my condolences to Madam Attorneys and her family. That ends my report.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Oh, you remember my name?
I sure did. It's an ongoing joke.
I
right?
know, I love it. Good evening and wonderful. I'm just excited about all that has been taking place with my colleagues. Everybody has been working very, very hard, and we are on the move. And so it keeps our energy up, and we have to take our vitamins to serve. And I think that I am more energized with you, Ms. Cunningham, and I appreciate you for those kind comments. Thank you so very, very much. We have on Saturday, our monthly or quarterly, monthly third Saturday marketplace, and it has really taken off in the community. We appreciate all of you for your continued support. This Saturday, we are starting our spring cleaning, and so we have added about 17 to 20 slots that are being offered free to the public, and for you to bring out your things from your garage if you are interested in selling those. And we haven't sold out, but we have no more room. Their response has been incredible. And if it is backed by popular demand, next month on the 3rd, we will do it one more time so that all of your spring cleaning, if you need to get out of your garage, please feel free to sign up and register for your booth early. The other thing is that we will have an additional 30 paid slots. And if you'd like to come out and continue your support, we'd love to have you. We have food trucks that are coming. Jesse Trice will be there to do blood pressure checks and other health related information to all of the residents that are coming out. We thank you all again. I can't even tell you how much it has meant to not only the residents, but to the vendors who are non-brick and mortar that are coming out to show their wares. The other thing that I'm excited about is that Miami Carroll City Senior High School will be having their alumni reunion picnic at Carroll City Park. And I would love for all to come out. It always promises and is an exciting event for Carroll City, as well as all members in our community to come together and enjoy, especially since we haven't really seen each other in a long time. So we're going to have a lot of Carroll City alumni, I believe many, and thank you. Thank you, Vice Mayor Leon, for sponsoring the Showmobile for that organization. We are looking forward to having a wonderful time. So after you leave the marketplace, you can go over to Carroll City and have even more of a good time. The Flipping Houses event was a huge success. I met so many residents that were so interested in it. We had about 6 to 8 people that received the raffle, which was $2,000 every hour. And so we pulled it, and they have been pretty excited about it. It was better than a stimulus check. Taking 200 seniors to see Donnie McClurkin, we had another wonderful time. We had 2 bus loads, and we had a great time up and a great time back. And I think probably more than the ride was the preferential entrance. Adrian Arts was very, very good to us. We didn't have to stand in any lines, and we just had a wonderful time. And Donnie McClurkin was an excellent performer. So I just want to thank all of the seniors who came out and was on those buses. We had a really, really wonderful time. The one thing that we did, again, by popular demand, is that we had a gas giveaway, and it was kudos to the police department, who handles those things with the greatest of ease. The expertise at which they manage and are able to do crowd control is bar none. I've never seen anything like it in my life. So I want to say a special thank you to you all for the work that you have done. And we have one other event that will be coming up. The mayor and I are sponsoring our HBCU sports combine that will be coming to Betty T. Ferguson on June 10th and 11th. And we are really excited about recruiting the young men from the football teams that are around in our high schools. And we are also, we're looking at possibly having about 100, 150 young men to participate that day. We have our coaches that are online, but we will need some extra hands. So if you're able to volunteer, please call our office and submit your name, because your help will be needed to help get our kids fed and things of that nature. That concludes my comments for today. And again, I say thank you all for your continued support.
Vice Mayor.
Real quick, I just asked this council to join me in recognizing our telecommunications department for National Law Enforcement Telecommunication Week. Those are some unsung heroes that are there responding to those calls for service that come in and getting that information to PD. So my recognition to them, please relay that message. And that's all I have for my report. Thank you.
And thank you, Chief, for recognizing them and giving them the opportunity to participate in some type of barbecues. You know, usually we do things during the day, and there's a lot of people that work on the overnight shifts that don't get a chance to participate. So I wanted to take this time to say thank you and thank them for all their hard work and dedication to this community.
They shared their barbecue with me, by the way.
You got some barbecue this morning? Good. I don't have a lot to say today. It's just that let's keep everyone in prayer. Things going on in this world as we don't understand. And it's probably not for us to understand. It's in God's hands. You know, we saw a lady today or yesterday, whenever, she killed her 2 children. And, you know, that just does something to me, because much as I love kids, she could have brought those kids to my house and I would have took care of them babies. You know, so let's keep Sonia and her family in their prayers. And when you have an opportunity to let family members know that you love them, share that time with them, spend that time with them. When you have time to let a friend know that you care, spend that time with them, because we never know when that might be the last time that you get to say anything to them again. So let's just keep doing what we're doing, loving on each other, and let's continue to work hard for this city. And I want to thank the crime watchers for what you guys are doing. It's very important in our community that all residents see, not just us, but other residents who care about their communities, get out and do things just like that. Where we can help, my office will be there to assist you guys. I'm sure the other council members will be there, and we'll help to make that a successful venture. That's all I have to say. So that meeting is adjourned. I need a motion. Moved and seconded, meeting adjourned. I believe the children are the future.